Haha. So we are live. Right. This afternoon, well, late on in this afternoon, about 5:30, Newcastle United are away to Aston Villa, West Midlands. I'm in East Midlands, so it's roughly about, I think, 2 hours away in the car. And my hope is 3 points in the bag. And the hope is that in the next few games, our manager, Eddie Howe, can get himself out of hospital and back home safely to his family. So, good afternoon, Marks Bags. It's match day. 4-1. You've gone for 4-1. Okay. I went for 3-0. But we could both be, well, we can't both be right. But one thing I will say is this, that 3 points, that's what I'm after. So, as we progress forward, today there are 6 games, and after today there will be 5. So, we have to keep applying the pressure. And the hope is that Eddie Howe gets released by the hospital so he can go back to his family. And what's that? Points make prizes. Yes, they do. Yes. Well, if you look at it this way, I said before a ball had even been kicked this season, 3rd. And now we're in 3rd, we have to keep 3rd. That's the hard part. That means everybody mucking in to make sure in games that we get the points and we also get the goals. One thing I would like to see, and that is Harvey Barnes, Jacob Murphy, and Anthony Gordon increase their goal tally. That would be epic. Also for the likes of Sandro Tonali and Bruno, also to grab a few more goals. Because I know for a fact Alexander Isak, he is going to be chomping at the bit today to get on the score sheet. And he nearly got on the score sheet multiple times the other night. However, that wasn't to be. Any chance of a match day shout out to John Sinclair, who is making the trip to Villa with his son? Well, John Sinclair is a fellow YouTube channel. So yes, hoping that John and his son have an absolutely brilliant day. And looks like the weather's going to be pretty good today instead of it being a miserable wet day in West Midlands. So, one thing is this. Trying to look at the chat and at the screen at the same time. So what we got? Hi Paul, are we still doing a live together like you agreed? I would love for you to turn me from an unbeliever to a believer. Well, that's pretty easy thing to do, really. I'm on block, Paul. You skipped past my message. Well, here's the thing, right? Yesterday, I was asking questions yesterday. And amongst those questions were something I had asked a big business here in the United Kingdom. I went into Curry's PC World years and years ago. As it was when I lived in West Denton, and I asked a question, and the guy turned around and he went, "You're in the wrong section of Curry's PC World. Please go over to the business section." So I wandered over. And after a few minutes, somebody came and says, "Can I help?" So I said, "Yeah, I hope you can help." And I sat there for about 40 minutes chatting to, there was one at first, and then the second one came in to back up the first one. Anyway, cut long story short, they turned round and they said, "What you are explaining to us, no," is that's the honest answer. Brilliant idea, but no. Why? The technology wasn't available. So yesterday I asked again, same question, and I got an answer. And what I want to say to you is this: there's a lot of people, and Mark has openly admitted he is one of them, saying about being an unbeliever. Now, here's the thing for you, right? I've showed you multiple lines of code. Am I correct? Yes or no? Well, I'll let you decide while I'm having a sip of a cup of coffee. Yeah. So, yeah. Chippers, Paul, are you doing any more songs today? Well, there's a song which I wrote the other day that needs to be recorded. And 1 second. So, the song. I did do this in a video the other day. But the song is called "You Brought It Home." And it's about the cup. It was the first cup we've had in 70 years. First of many. Now, in this, I wrote, "Newcastle United, you made our day. You brought home the cup. You gave the people hope. Today we march on, our hearts filled with pride. We are Geordie Nation. We wear our shirts filled with love." The chorus: "You brought it home, never had a doubt. Great days ahead under Eddie. Get well soon, we love you." And then it goes on to, "We march on to a promised land. It will not be given. We have to fight for it. Bring home Champions League next season. I believe in you. One final push." And there we go. So there's the chorus right there. And the reason why, like I say, Eddie Howe is, as far as I'm aware, he's still in hospital. Yeah. So wishing him a speedy recovery. And also, at the same time, our team keep gaining points. Now, what we got here? Not sure how showing lines of code that you do not understand would have turned from an unbeliever. If anything, it shows you are out of your depth. Let's do a live together and you can explain it properly. Well, Mark, just for you and just for you alone, here's the thing, right? I bought a course with Udemy. The course was Web Development 3. Well, to give it its official title, Web Development 3.0. Yeah? Now, that wasn't the only course I bought. I also bought a boot camp. And after I had bought both of those, I was checking on something on Udemy itself, on their website, and I came across another one. That was Solidity. So there's 3. Now, while I was doing the HTML5 section, here's what happened. Many people turned around in chat and said, by the time it takes you to get to JavaScript from HTML5, artificial intelligence would have went and whizzed by you. That was the impression I got from a lot of people. So, rather than have artificial intelligence go whiz by, I thought, let's check out what artificial intelligence is. And there's about 200 videos. They're all on YouTube, where people like Christian, for one, and many others speak about the likes of Cursor, the likes of We Are No Code, Christian, but there's others as well. And what they show you is what's possible. Now, as I was saying to you, where I was having the problem was this. It's already typing. I can type for fun on the keyboard. Seriously, I can type for fun. Here's the problem though. Many people have said to me over the years, oh, that's a big long piece that you've done. And I go, yeah. But they turned around and said, but your spelling, your punctuation, your commas, that sort of thing is like way down there in the bucket. It's true. But it still doesn't stop me. And when people were saying to me to go down the road of artificial intelligence, I thought, yeah, let's try it. And seekingyou.org will get sorted out. It just needs the code looking at. And where the code has errors, like the errors is like line such and such, and it gives you the line that code's written on. So You go to that section and clean it, debug it. That's another skill. Debugging is another skill. And this is what I'm trying to get through to you. Have you thought of being a bus driver in Nottingham? Yeah, I did think about it. I did. However, one issue, and it's both sides. Just here, both sides. But I did think about it. Are the rumours of you coming back to Twitter true? No. Whoever's been telling you that, no. Originally, yes, that was going to be the case. Originally, that was with 32K TV, and but sadly, Twitter has got more like a cesspool, and let's be honest, you don't want to go into a cesspool environment. So there's your answer. Right, what? He is back. He is called. Really? Chippers? Really? No, I haven't given up on 32K. No. Reason why I haven't given up is because I need somebody who is fluent in Solidity code. That's all 32K requires. Somebody who is fluent in Solidity code. Same thing with dual energy. Same principle. Solidity code, and then boosh, it goes live. The one thing with both of those, 32K TV and dual energy, is I wouldn't be concentrating on the website. What I would be concentrating on is exchanges, selling on exchanges to be able to buy and then create. Right, so what we got? Paul, you have been waffling 10 years and you're never going to give it a rest. Yeah, that's your opinion, mate, at the end of the day. I am here on YouTube building. You know, there's multiple different things. And if you don't believe, guess what? You don't believe. I know this much. An expert in Solidity gets the assets unlocked because they get to put their wallet address in the test. Boosh, done. Right. Will you ever live stream on Kick? Kick. I have heard of Kick. Isn't that something to do with TikTok? Might be wrong. Will Streets of Home be released on Nintendo 64 or Dreamcast? No. It will be on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, PC, mobile. And it may get onto Steam Deck, which is, I think That is Valve. But I might be wrong. So no. What's this? What's your plans on finding somebody who is skilled in Solidity? Well, Udemy, the course. I've already put things out there to Rob, who is the instructor on the course that I was doing. And all instructors talk to each other, and because they talk to each other, well, they'll discuss it. Right, what's this? What's your plan? Right, not an opinion, Paul. It's fact. It's fact! Oh, shock, horror. Do you know the thing is, right? The last time I tried to do something on a live, what happened? Does anybody remember what happened? Because a few people turned around and says, oh, just type this in, and then all of a sudden the screen went off. So they're monkeying around, got nowhere. Yeah, they would have had a ball of a laughter. They would have been rolling across the floor. Paul has typed in what we've just said, and his screen has gone off. And they would have been rolling across the floor like hyenas. However, still doesn't stop me trying to do what I'm trying to do. And that's my point. Well, yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I mean, there are lot of the Twitter people are most probably in chat right now. But one thing I do know is this. 4 new things, 2 of the 4, I have bought the domain for. So there's 2 to go. And there is a hell of a lot of code to check, to verify. Once that code has been checked and verified, boosh, away it goes. And that will mean that Seeking You will be available for everybody to have a look and explore, and Geordie Nation for you to go and have a look, explore, and tell your mates so that they can go and have a look and explore. That's the whole purpose of it, because it is for the people of Newcastle upon Tyne. These other things, like the one yesterday, that is based around... Nope. Oh, I keep getting it wrong. That St. James's Park, which could be closing down because we could be moving further up Barrack Road to the edge of Lees's Park. Or it may be in Lees's Park. We just don't know yet. Nobody is saying tickety boo. Now, let's see the current state of Streets of Home. Well, here's the thing for you. There is a lot of code for the demo. Now, the demo, the code for the demo is in JS, which is JavaScript, No clue on JavaScript. It has bits of CSS. Don't know how big that bit of CSS is, but it also has React as well. And the code which I did yesterday, that code it took 15 minutes to write that code from me putting in the prompt because I went to get a fresh cuppa, and as I left the laptop to go and do that, it started to write, and I had stirred this, came back in, sat down, and it was still writing in 15 minutes. Right, straight to home. What kind of GPU? Well, what I want is I want as close to real life as possible in the graphics. So as you are whizzing down a street or a road, there's a few things I want as you're doing that. I want the road to be challenging. So might have the odd pothole where if you're going at mega speed, like Leamington Bank, if you're going down there, you're going to have to be careful. Motion blur for when you're going really, really fast. And graphics power. I'm thinking as a start. I might be wrong, but I'm thinking a 4 series graphics card. That's a rough idea. And I would say minimum 32 meg of RAM as a minimum. Once the code is verified away, it will be good. Yeah, it will be. What do you mean by verified? Look, here's the easiest way to explain it. Yeah. I have a book in the bedroom by Dan Brown. It's called The Lost Symbol. Never read the book, but I know the book is good. But if I went to read that book and it was in Chinese, as an example, it'd be a nice book, but I can't read what's on the screen because it goes backwards. And that's kind of what, like, because JavaScript in code, never came across it, have not a clue, because it was further in Web Development 3. I was only in the back end of, I think I had 2 modules to do in HTML5. Then it was CSS. Not even a clue what CSS is. But I'm just explaining where I was in the course. So, what's a 4 series graphics card? Powerful as far as I know. Do you have? No, I don't. It's very hard to get those 4 series graphics cards nowadays. Right. So, have you ever managed to read a book? Several. Several books by the very famous author Dan Brown and others. Brian Lumley, and several others. So yes. Mr. Men Don't Count, I like it. So you're coding a game which you were unable to run on your own hardware. Well, the game Streets of Home won't be played on this laptop. No. It would be played on a tower where I could fit into that tower a decent graphics card, a capture card for doing YouTube live, and bigger SSDs to cope with everything, and bigger screen like the one which is sitting just next to me, which is a 55-inch. Right. Will Streets of Home come near or even better Grand Theft Auto 6? I would say Grand Theft Auto is going to be huge. But Streets of Home's different because the system in both games is different. With Grand Theft Auto, well, I used to play Grand Theft Auto years and years ago. However, Streets of Home, that's on the streets. And making sure you get from the start to the finish without things going bang and falling apart. That's the extreme bit. And will you be playing this personal office block or a private box? Well, that depends if you're talking about playing the game at work or at St. James's Park. So it just depends. So the one thing I will say is this: the code, like the JS, the React, the Vite, what's the other one? CSS. There's no idea of like what they are because I didn't get that far in Web Development 3 to find out. Have you ever considered going on Dragon's Den? Nope. Oh, guess what? Guess what? Where are you? There we go. Yeah, there's many people have tried this over the years. Many people have turned around and says, "Oh, we'll go into a live on YouTube," and they're not using their profile picture; they're using somebody else's, and because they're using somebody else's, that's a bit of a Mickey take, and you can't stop it, but there's certain things I won't abide by. Have you? I've already answered that one. So the hope is that seekingyou.org goes live, Geordie Nation goes live, the demo of the game, there is lots of code, but I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, the code that I have needs to be added to. Would that be correct? To make a proper fluid demo game. And I'll wait while I'm sucking my cuppa. Because if it does need code adding to what's already there, then that's going to need extra helpers to write that code. People who are experts in doing said code. I can't ever claim to be the expert because I'm not. What I'm saying to you is I was pushed down this rabbit hole by subscribers, and because they pushed me in this direction of artificial intelligence, that's where we are right now. So yes, I hope, and it is just a hope, the 4 projects I now have on the laptop will go live between today and 2 of them for the end of this month, April, and then the demo between May to July to give a good demo to everybody. And the street you're gonna do a demo for, well, I had picked a few, but if you've got a better location, feel free. And the likelihood is your street, what you've put in the code, could be the one that's chosen for the demo. You just never know. And the main part of like why jobs. And it means that 4 things happen 2025. I can turn around to universal credit, sign off. And that's the whole point of doing it. To say to universal credit, thank you, signing off, and I'm going to be living on this. So again, thank you all for being here. And the hope is come 6:45 tonight, Newcastle United have 3 points in the bag, and people get in touch with me about the JS code, the CSS code, etc. So we can start moving things forward. And there we go. But thank you, wonderful people, for being here, asking me the questions. Like I say, I do value what you say. So see you all on the next live, because I'm limited now on the mobile to 10 minutes. And we're at 39 minutes. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, wherever you may be.